Journal Record Managing Editor Ted Streuli joins us to discuss the stories making headlines in business this week. Ted, the IRS is reworking some regulations that might hit some businesses hard. Tell us about that.
Right, they've already done this. They're in effect for 2012, and what the tax code now has about a 250-page document that are guidelines and examples for how these deductions are to be taken, and they really affect anybody who does any repairs on any kind of real property, any equipment or real estate. And it's going to affect businesses where maybe they're replacing, say, an HVAC unit or something like that, where last year they could have taken that deduction all at once and capitalized it. Now they might find that they have to take the depreciation over a number of years. Well, when you have to depreciate it, obviously it increases the current tax liability. So this could have a fairly substantial negative impact on some businesses that do a lot of remodeling and repair.
A Louisiana fund sued Continental Resources this week in an effort to put the brakes on Continental's purchase of an oil and gas company. What's the story there?
That's right. Well, this was a police pension fund, essentially, a statewide deal. And their shareholders, the deal was announced several months ago, and it's a company called Wheatland Oil that is essentially owned by Continental Resources CEO Harold Hamm and their president Jeff Hume. Mr. Hamm owns 70 or 75% of that. Mr. Hume owns the rest. And it's very similar to the deal Aubrey McClendon had at Chesapeake with the Founders Well Participation Program. So the two men want to sell this company back to Continental Resources. The pension fund feels as though it's going at an inflated price, and they want to have a say in it before shareholders approve the final deal.
There's hope that a settlement will mean a windfall for hundreds of ranchers defrauded by an Indiana cattle broker.
That's right. This is the Eastern Livestock deal. It's a $130 million check kiting scheme that finally fell apart and sent Eastern Livestock into bankruptcy. The trustee said this week that they are not going to sue Fifth Third Bank. There were some allegations that the bank knew about the check kiting and allowed it to go on. So there's potentially more relief for the ranchers affected by that, many of them here in Oklahoma.
What are you working on for next week?
Yeah, next week we're taking a look at a story about community banks in Oklahoma who really are putting some pressure on the FDIC to extend a temporary measure that ensures non-interest-bearing deposits. That's set to expire this year. They'd like to see it continue.
Ted Streuli, Managing Editor of the Journal Record, thanks for your time.
My pleasure.